This video is going to be about how to set up a Pocket account and some basics on how to navigate around Pocket. So Pocket is an app you can use on your iPad, and it's also accessible on your computer to help save websites and PDFs and other online links that you want to keep bookmarked, but not necessarily in a big long bookmark list on your computer. I'm going to show how to use it through your iPad because that's where I find it's the most helpful. But just so you know, it is also accessible on your computer, and you can do some of the same things on Pocket if you're finding websites on your computer. So first of all, I've gone to the App Store and I've typed Pocket into the search bar, and I'm going to go ahead and go to that app. I already have Pocket downloaded on this iPad, so it says open. If you don't have Pocket yet, it'll say get. So you need to get the Pocket app. If you want to pause the video right now to do that, go ahead. So now that you've downloaded Pocket, you can hit the open, and it's going to look like this. You will need to sign up with an email account. I like to use my personal email account because that way I can use it for other things that maybe aren't school related too. So I'm going to sign up with email. I have a generic email account I'm going to use for this one, but feel free to use your correct credentials. So my first and last name are Tiger Tech, and I'll put in that generic email. And then they want the password for your email account here. And then hit sign up. Okay, once that you've done that, they'll give you this little tutorial on how to use it. So we're just going to walk through that together. Next, it tells you you can save easily from anywhere. So basically what this means is when you're in Safari and you're on a website you really like and you want to tuck away to maybe read it later or to send to somebody else and come back to it later, you can do that very easily. There's an extension for Pocket that allows you to do that. That means when you're on Safari, this little Pocket icon will show up so you can easily move things to Pocket without actually having to go into the app. So I would suggest hitting Enable Share the Extension. So now it's going to take you to Pocket on your Safari. Okay, and it leads you through how you're going to install that. So you're going to tap the share button, so that's the arrow out button in the top right hand corner. You want to swipe over and you see there's my Pocket one already enabled. If you don't see yours, hit more and make sure you flip the switch so it's green, so Pocket is enabled, and then you're done. Okay, then you can go ahead and return to the Pocket app so that we can finish up that tutorial. I'll show you later how we're actually going to save that. So now we're going to go to next. All right, one of the things you can do if you're in an app and it doesn't let you use that little extension we just set up in Safari, you can email the link to the address they have there. I can't say I've ever used that, but if that becomes an issue for you, there you go. You can add that to your email address book so that it automatically pops up when you want to do that. I'm just going to go to next for now. Here's that computer piece that I was telling you about. So if you do want to do the same thing on your computer, so like if you're on a website on your computer and you want to send it to Pocket, so you want to put it in this secure place for all your links, you can do that. And if you wanted to send you instructions for that right now, hit that button and it'll email you instructions on how to set up Pocket on your computer. And we're hitting next. You can also move between certain apps in Pocket pretty easily. Zite is one that I use a lot, as well as Twitter. So if you find something, an article on Zite, or if there's a tweet on Twitter that you really like, it automatically links with Pocket and can send things that way. So if you want to take a look at the apps that are linked with Pocket, you can do that. I'm just going to go to next. Okay. Instant sync means that basically you'll automatically see whatever you save on your Pocket list. You can do that when you're in the app as well, so I don't feel like it's terribly important. But if you are really determined to get what you save right away, you might want to enable that. That's about it. So now we're going to take a look at what the Pocket app itself looks like. So view our list. Okay, so right now we don't have any items saved in Pocket. So we're going to take a look at how to do that. The most common way I do this, as I said, is through Safari if I find a link I really like. So I'm going to go to Safari real quickly. And in Safari, here it is. Let's see if I can find something interesting. So I've got this National Science Teachers Association website that has some cool videos on it that I don't have a ton of time to watch right now, but I don't want to leave that tab open in my Safari browser. So I'm going to send it to Pocket. So what I do is I do this out arrow, and that gets me that list of apps again. And remember, we enabled Pocket, so there it is. So I'm going to hit Pocket. From there, it reassures me that it's been saved. So now we're going to go back to the app and double check it. So back in the Pocket app, we're going to do a little refresh. I just drug down and it refreshed it. And now you can see that's been saved there. Now, as it saves more sites, or as you save more sites, it'll continue to add those boxes. Just a personal preference, I prefer to look at these as a list. So if you go to the little 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, you can switch to list view, and then it makes a whole big list of those. Okay. If you decide you don't want this link for whatever reason to be in here, maybe you're done. You've read it. You don't need it anymore. You can always swipe over, and it gives you all sorts of choices. So you can tag it. So you could say, okay, this is a science link, and then I can search all my tags on science if I'm looking for something. I can check it, I can star it. Here's my delete. I can also send it out of Pocket with a variety of apps. So I could email it, I could tweet it, I could send it at Facebook, I can open it in Safari. If I'm using Evernote, I can put it into Evernote. So there's all sorts of choices for this one guy. I also, if I had a bunch of them that I wanted to delete or a bunch of them that I wanted to put into Evernote, I can do a bulk edit. And in that case, I can tap a whole bunch of different ones. So basically, if I have a whole bunch of them, it'll let me check multiple links that I have and then trash them all or send them all or whatever you want to do from there. To look at my tags, once I start tagging them, why don't I do that? Well, this is how you read it. I guess I should show you that for sure. So if I want to open it up, here we go. Okay, and read the actual article. That's what I'm doing, is I'm reading it right in Pocket. So everything's right there. The formatting might look a little different, but that's there. And then you can send it from that as well. Again, if you don't like the format, you could open it in Safari and read it in Safari again. So there's that option. If I want to tag this, let's say I have a tag, and I'm going to call it science. Okay, and that's going to make it easier for searching later on. I'm going to go back. You can see now it has that little science tag on it. And if I go over here on my left-hand side under those 3 bars, and I look under tags, here's my science tag, and it goes right to that particular article. So once you get a lot of articles in here, it's an easier way to find the ones you want if you want to tag them. All right, so back up here. Other things you can look at in this list, you can sort by the types of links you have. You can favorite them, that's the star. The check I showed you earlier, that's to archive it. So maybe you're done reading it, but you still want to save it. You don't want to delete it because maybe you need it later. That would be an archive type link, so you could check it and then it would show up in the archive. Premium is they want you to pay some more money for more bells and whistles. And then the settings, I always like for people to look at their settings and see if there's anything else that they want to do. If they want to change how the pages is pages are flipped or what the screen looks like, how you download them. So you could get these offline. So in other words, if you're not hooked up to an internet or a Wi-Fi source, you could still read these. So there's options for that, how to sync them. You could do a dark theme so the background becomes darker if you like it like that. So there are all these different choices in here as well that you can play around with. Really, in the end, though, the power of Pocket is that it allows you to have a place where you can keep all of your resources, even though you can't necessarily read them right away. And also to share them with other people. So this is a great way to come back to something and then think, oh, so and so would really like this article, or they'd be really interested in this. Sending it out of Pocket is a pretty easy way to do that.